This is a presentation of BSRN, Box Studios Radio Network. The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here is your host of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Power Play Post Show. Folks, we're almost there. The hockey season is starting to happen. And let's be honest, the NHL is already doing preseason games. The FPHL won't be too far behind. Hello, everybody. I am Bob Howard. This is the show for September 26, 2024. We are in season number 14, episode number 8, and this is episode 447 in the long-running podcast that is the Power Play Post Show. Again, I am Bob Howard. Thank you very much for joining me. I have an excellent interview with one of the Binghamton Black Bears' most favorite players that there is right now, Donald Olivieri, and I cannot wait for you guys to be able to listen to that interview. It's a good interview. We talk about a lot of things and some very, important, serious things that pertain to Donald Olivieri. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. There isn't a lot to talk about. Kind of like last week, really not a lot to talk about. All the signings are in that we're going to have for going into camp. Okay, so before camp, you're probably not going to see, I'm pretty confident you're not going to see another signing before camp starts next week. So the Black Bears have what they have, and let's hope that everybody is at camp that needs to be at camp. And we'll talk more about some of that maybe next week as we get closer to camp. I'll be at camp at least 3 days next week and one of the final days the week after. So let's get right into this. The Power Play Post Show is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on whichever platform you listen to your podcast, and please subscribe. Please join the Power Play Post Show Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search for Power Play Post Show and share with any of your friends or family that enjoy the Binghamton Black Bears. Check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your Binghamton hockey information and curiosity. And on this edition of the Power Play Post Show, he's the Don Father of Binghamton, Donald Olivieri. Even though he's from Philly. He's a Philly fan. It's okay. It's all right. We still love you anyways, Don. So next week on the Power Play Post Show, the Binghamton Black Bears will be starting their camp. And the Power Play Post Show will be there at least 3 of the days next week. Camp will run through the weekend. They will stop on Friday next week for the first annual golfing tournament with the Black Bears. So that'll be really interesting and a lot of fun for, obviously, the fans and for the players. And it's for a great cause to help support the Booster Club to keep it up and running, because the Booster Club is very important when it comes to the Binghamton hockey community and has been since day one, since the first day of the Dusters. So that's very cool. We'll be at training camp at least 3 days next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I think we're going to sit down Wednesday and talk with Brant Sherwood. We'll bring you pictures. We'll bring you some video. And next week's show, we'll have interviews with players from the camp. We'll get, a few comments here and there from some of the guys that we know, and we'll get to talk to. We will also sit down with Brant Sherwood to discuss camp, the upcoming season, and much, much more. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges for this upcoming season, right? What are these challenges? We maybe touched upon it a little bit in the last couple episodes, but I think there are some challenges, and it's good to have challenges. How does the team stay hungry after winning a championship? That is a question I think is going to be asked a few times to some of the returning players. How are they going to feel hungry to go out and to win another championship? Now, you have to remember, Brant Sherwood is bringing back a good portion of last year's team. And let's be honest, you win a championship, it's tough to repeat. It just is. Hasn't been, there hasn't been a repeat champion in a long time here in the FPHL. Can the Binghamton Black Bears do that? There's now 14 teams in the FPHL. With there being 14 teams, maybe there's another head coach that strikes gold and brings in the right group of guys, and they gel together. Maybe it's Monroe. Maybe it's Athens. Maybe Motor City puts everything together, especially if Babin does come back and plays with the Rockers. He has signed, but I do believe that he's creating his own system of, signing with an SP team, sign with a ECHL team, and just go from there to make sure that you have options. So who knows? He may not be there. But my point is, though, is that any team can, get lightning in a bottle, like Brant Sherwood did last year. And I think that kind of takes away a little bit. So I don't really like using that term because I think he worked hard. He went out and he found the right a group of guys, people he trusted. He trusted Tyson Kirkby. He trusted JT Walters and Jesse Anderson, who became very close with Coach over the season. So I really think that's going to be tough, right? How do you stay hungry after winning a championship to go out and win another championship? Not a lot of teams can do it. So how do they push themselves? Well, maybe they get pushed by some of the newer players that are going to come in. The guys who haven't won an FPHL championship or a hockey championship. Maybe it's the fans. Maybe the fans show up in droves this upcoming season, and they help drive this team. They were a big part of last year's team. And so it's going to be interesting, right? How do you build the power plays? That's always a challenge. Regardless of what you had last year, this year, it could be different. Power play schemes could be different. The players, the personnel. You may not have Andrew Logar. Well, if Andrew Logar's not there and he scored 10 power play goals, who's going to fill that role? So those are some of the challenges that are important. You're going to go to different markets this year. So there's always that newness factor that factors into all of this. The Black Bears, I think, are going to play well. I think they're going to repeat. I've already said it in a previous episode that I still think they're going to hit that 39-40 game win mark. I just think they're going to be the class of the Empire Division. I don't see many teams in the Empire Division getting better than the Black Bears. You have all these returning guys. When you have a guy like Gavin Eates on the ice, and it didn't look like, I don't think anybody was thinking, oh, Gavin Yates lost a step last year. No, he didn't. He still was able to go from defensive zone to offensive zone in about 5 strides and make people look silly. I don't think that's going to change this upcoming season, right? And he's probably learned from some of the things that happened last year of what not to do. And you want the core guys to get 46 to 53 games in. I mean, Dan Stone got all the games in, which is very important. But I think if you can get most of the core guys 46 to 53 games, then I think you're going to be fine. I think this team will be fine. But again, the challenge really is how do you stay hungry after winning a championship? We'll talk about this over the next couple of weeks with some of the players as they come into it. I do know that, the players are going to get their rings before the banner ceremony, which is cool. I think it's important that they do it kind of in a private event just for them. I think that's a pretty neat thing. So that'll be very interesting. Next week I got a lot of great questions already for Coach Sherwood. We'll get to those next week with him. So next week won't be your typical interview session like I'm doing with Don, like I've done with Dan Weber and some of the guys, Josh Fletcher, over the past few weeks. Instead, you're going to hear some stuff right from camp. Guys coming off the ice, got my little recorder. We'll get some comments. And then we'll kind of feed that into the podcast next week, plus a sit-down with Brant Sherwood. So really awesome. Can't wait for that. I don't think there's really much more to say. The players are there. You can go to the Fed's website and look at what's on the roster. The roster will more than likely get cleaned up, and they'll take some people off of there. Maybe Liam Anderson comes off the board, so he's not there because he's not going to be playing over here to start the season or through most of the season, right? We don't know what his situation will be like in March or whatever. So there will be some names that will come off, and it'll kind of clean itself up a little bit. And then, of course, there will be cuts because there's always cuts in hockey, right? That's just the way it is. Some of the NHL teams are already sending guys down to the AHL. So that's already happening, right? I think with the FPHL, you bring in a bunch of guys, you really start to see who's going to work and gel, and then you go from there. Well, I'm excited about being able to go to camp this year. Coach really wanted me there as much as I could be because last year they couldn't practice and have camp at the arena, so they had to do it in a different scenario. This year they're going to do that here, so it'll be very cool. What I do like is that Don Olivieri did tell me he will be there on opening night to the home opener to see the banner raised. He wants to be there. He said, listen, whether I'm in the stands or in Andreas' suite or down on the ice when they raise the banner, he goes, I'll do whatever they want. And but I think if he wants to be on the ice for that ceremony, he can certainly do that. I'm sure they'll work something out to make sure of that somehow, some way. I told him to put on a suit and go and coach with Coach Sherwood, and he said he doesn't wear suits. So very interesting there. It's a great interview with Don Olivieri, so we're going to get to that right now. So enjoy that. It's the Don Father, Donald Olivieri, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers. Hi, this is Brandon Buczynski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. We only have about 16 days until the home opener, like 15 days at this point, until the season starts for the Binghamton Black Bears. But I wanted to bring back somebody and talk to him a little bit about the summer, his involvement, but more of his relationship with the Binghamton fans and some things that happened over this summer. He is Donald Olivieri. Don, welcome back to the show. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and always thank you for whenever I send you a message, send you a text, you reply back and everything, and we can just, kind of continue this relationship that we have doing these interviews and everything. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And like I told you, I'm always here whenever you need me to come on. And it's not about, the business end of the relationship. It's a friendship.
Yeah.
Between me and you and all the fans and stuff. So it's beyond hockey. So
well, as long as we don't talk about the Flyers Rangers too much, we'll probably be okay, right?
Yeah, definitely stay away from that for a little bit.
Well, it's funny. I've been in the spectrum when fights have happened between Rangers and Flyers fans, and I don't think people understand how crazy the rivalry is between the two fan bases unless you're actually in MSG or you're at the old Spectrum or the new, the Wachovia Center or the Center. I don't even know what they call it these days because these names change all the time. But you've probably been in one of the arenas and seen the craziness that happens between Flyers and Rangers fans, right?
Yeah, I think it must be just a Newark thing, man. The Rangers, the Mets, the Giants. I think it's just a whole New York thing.
Wait. We always think it's a Philadelphia thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he said, she said, right?
That's fair. Don, one of the things I want to obviously talk about with you is about your dog Millie and about how the Binghamton fans came together and pulled together and helped you guys out in that situation. Can you first, so we can get through this, give that update to the Binghamton fans, how Millie is, and just what it meant for you guys to know that the Binghamton faithful really kind of stepped up for you guys?
Yeah, everything they did for me and my wife and the dog and everything, was definitely huge. I mean, without them, the surgery probably would have never happened, and who knows what Millie would be like right now without that surgery. But it was a long road. I mean, it was like 4 months of me picking up a 60-pound dog, and when I'm at work, my wife's doing it, walk up and down the stairs, taking them out, and especially with my other dog, Roy, running around and having a baby. It was definitely tough, but she's good now. She's walking around good. Like I said before, she's having a little trouble jumping, which probably comes with the surgery, and she doesn't run around as much as she used to, but as long as she's walking good, not limping, and she seems like a happy dog again, that's all I care about. And like I said before, me and my wife are more than grateful to the Binghamton family and what they did for our family. And like I said before, I don't know where Millie would have been if we couldn't get her that surgery.
Were you a little surprised when you started seeing the reaction from the Binghamton fans stepping up, donating, a jersey? One of the great fans donated a jersey that she just won just to go and do the whole raffle thing all over again. Were you kind of surprised with this reaction from the fans?
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. I mean, when I first did it, I really didn't think an outcome like that would happen. As a dog owner, whether it's my dog, my kid, parents will go to the greatest lengths for their kids, or like I said, even my animal, because that's family. And I never really understood that with my parents. And now that I'm a parent, I'll do anything. And so I took a shot, and I can't believe the response that came with it. And like I said before, if it wasn't for the Binghamton family doing everything they did and donating another jersey, and like I said, I wouldn't know where Millie would be right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique situation. I really do think that the hockey world is a small world, even though there's so many teams out there, in the minor league hockey scene, and of course there's hockey all around the world. But for some reason, it feels like our community, Don, is smaller than maybe some of the other ones, and so it makes us a little bit tighter, and we go out and we do more things for each other because there's this special bond within the hockey community. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. And like I said, when I played in Fayetteville for those 2 years, before I came to Binghamton, I always said that Fayetteville was my favorite spot. The fans there are great, and they treated the players awesome and did all that. But then I come to Binghamton, and it just, I don't want to say they top Fayetteville fans, but it's crazy how the city just loves the Black Bears, and just they're ride or die with the Black Bears no matter what, and it blows my mind, especially for a minor league team like that too. And it's just incredible. And I mean, like I said, for my first time up there, I was in shock when I saw all the fans, and then when I played a few more games, I started to get to know the fans more and talk to them more. It was a building a relationship. I felt like I'd been there for 5-6 years instead of being a first year guy, second year guy. They welcomed me into their family like I've been there, and it does blow my mind with the Binghamton fans how awesome they are.
How long did it take for someone to come back and go, "Hey, Don, you got to go out there. There's some people that want to take a picture or get an autograph"? How many games did it take before that actually happened? Because I know some of the players that I've talked to here on the podcast have been surprised on how, they were new players and they go in and all of a sudden, boom, they want to, the fans want to meet them and everything. How long did it take before someone came back and said, "Hey, Don, you got to go out there and meet some of the fans"?
It was definitely right away. I know my first weekend there, maybe my first week or two, I wasn't the biggest likable guy right away, which I understood, but they warmed up to me, and that, man, they were always asking for me. They were asking for everybody, honestly, and I think they only asked for me because the other guys were tied up with fans, So,
but then they get to know you, Don, and they get to know you, and you're a really nice guy. I remember the first time I just said hello and everything, And you turned around and you didn't know me from left to right or whatever and everything. And maybe someone had pointed out and said, hey, that's the podcast guy. But literally, you still had a smile on your face. You said hello and everything. And it was very cordial. So I can't imagine why nobody would like you at first and until they got to know you. I mean, easily you're, again, like I've said multiple times, always a smile on your face.
Yeah, I try. I don't know. Maybe ask my wife. Maybe I don't smile as much around the house. I don't know. But
well, maybe we all don't do that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I guess I don't know. I guess I played for so long, and I just want to be happy doing it, and then I don't want to treat it as a job. And I try and tell a lot of guys the same thing. Like, we don't play for the money in these leagues. We play because we love the game, and you just got to be happy, and you got 20 other guys around you that are, like I said, they're not there for the money. They're there because they love the game. So all you can do is smile, be happy, play your best, and build relationships on the way. And that's just how I look at it.
Don, May 10th, 2024, you're probably going to remember that for a very long time. It's when you got to raise the cup and everything. I know we've talked in the past. This was that was your championship. That was something that you've been waiting for a very long time in your career. I think you even talked about going all the way back into youth hockey. You didn't have many chances to win, right?
No, I think my 18 under year, we went to nationals. We came in second, and then my next biggest one was in the SP when I played for Peoria. We made it all the way to the finals. And I think we lost 2-1. I think it was, and that was the closest I ever came to a pro championship. And I don't know. I guess I've been ring chasing ever since. But I don't want to seem selfish like that because obviously I want every team I play for to be successful. But of course I just always wanted that championship. I wanted that ring, and I feel like that would complete 20 plus years of me playing.
What was that night like for you? I don't think your family was there, were they?
No, they couldn't make it that night, and I feel bad because my wife, she's been with me for pretty much most of my whole pro career, and and she was pretty upset that she couldn't be there, and it was understandable. She had work, the baby, and everything, so. I mean, it happens. I mean, I understand.
How quickly, because you guys obviously celebrated a lot, how quickly did you get on the phone and talk to her? Because I know she probably watched from afar.
I think right after Kirkby threw the net and we dog-piled, I think as soon as we separated from that, we did the handshake. And then I think after the handshake, I just took probably a quick minute, ran to the locker room, FaceTimed her real quick. Probably short 30, 45 seconds talk, and then ran back out because I knew they were doing the MVP and the trophy hoist, so I had to get back out there pretty quick.
Yeah, I was taking pictures. I thought I didn't see you at first lining up as just before Gavin was taking the MVP and everything. I was like, I don't see Don. So I kind of had to figure. So there was a story there. You went off real quick to grab your phone to be able to talk to Allie. That's great, and it's good to have that kind of moment. And I think it was either the week or the last week of the season. You had them up, and your daughter got to see you play and everything. To me, you probably are a different person today than you were maybe like in 2015, 2016 when you started off with the Berlin River Drivers, right? You're just a different human being today. You're a dad, you're a husband, and just things are different. And I think you could probably appreciate that championship a little bit more because of those situations.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being younger, playing pro when I was younger, not having a girlfriend and stuff, I really, I didn't give a care in the world. I just played. I was trying to move up as fast as I can. At first I didn't really care about those relationships. I didn't care about anything else. All I cared was about moving up. And as I got older, that was honestly, that was the wrong mentality. And when I met Allie, she screwed my head on straight pretty quick. And that's when I started, realizing that, I could take hockey as far as I want, even if I don't go that far. I think the relationships that I build are more important. Because at the end of my career, I don't want to say I played 8-9 years or whatever and not have any friends at the end of it, or
sure.
So I think as I got older, I built a lot of relationships. I'm in one of my buddies' weddings that I played with in Grand Rapids in about a month. And I still talk to a lot of guys from my Mississippi River King days, and we still try and meet up because a couple of them are married, have kids, they're friends with Alyssa, and we try and meet up once every summer, every other summer, and do a trip with the families and stuff. So
it's important that those relationships are there, and I think even more so, you have that relationship with Brant Sherwood as well. Yeah,
and like I said, I'm glad I realized that, at the end of the day, relationships and realizing that hockey it shouldn't be a business. It should be fun. We love to play it. It should be fun. You shouldn't treat it as a business. I mean, yes, I know guys want to move up and stuff like that. That's very understandable. But at the end of the day, you should just appreciate playing, appreciate where you're at, because whether we're making $100 or $1 million, there's not many people that can say they played a pro sport and got paid to do it,
Now, I do have to ask, obviously, you're not going to be starting off with the team in October, but will you be there on the banner-raising night? Is that happening?
Yeah.
Or is that a secret that I'm not allowed to ask? Because I could just...
No, I told Brant, with the whole playing thing, me and him have an understanding. That's just between me and him. But I told him whether I play or not, it don't matter. I want to be there for the banner raise because
sweet.
Whether I'm on the ice with the guys or not, I feel like it's important for me to be there for them because we're a team. We did it together, and I want to show that I just didn't get my ring and I'm leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be there for the guys and support them in every way possible, and I want to see that banner raised as a team.
Yeah, and I think all of Binghamton want to see you there as well. Any of the guys that aren't playing that can travel and be there, even if they're not suiting up with the team. I think all the Binghamton fans want to see everybody. I know I talked to Connor Smith a few weeks ago. He has decided to retire and probably wants to become more of a professional bull rider anyways. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Nobody rocks a goddamn cowboy hat like Connor Smith does, and especially with that mustache. I mean, he looks like a freaking cowboy. So
he's a psycho for riding those bulls, I'll tell you that.
He is. Oh my God. I told him that. I said, listen, you're nuts to be. I would never want to do it. And I worked on a farm when I was a kid, right? I grew up in the country and being around horses and cows and bulls, perfectly fine. I didn't want to get on a bull. I didn't want to get on a cow. I didn't want to tip a cow. I didn't want to do any of that kind of crazy stuff because I didn't want my ass getting kicked by a bull or a cow or whatever it was. Ride a horse, that's different, So I totally agree. But I think having all the players there, as many that can make it out. I know Colin Fitzgerald said he wants to be out there, and even though he's not going to be playing. So I think it's important that night. And one of the great things that happened on May 10th was not only did you guys win the championship, you won it in front of the fans. There was 5,011 fans in attendance. What do you remember during the game about that crowd?
I mean, it was a sold-out place. It was crazy. And I don't know. It's tough because when you're on the ice, you try not to...
You kind of block it out, right?
You're pretty zoned out, and you're more focused on the game and trying to do your job. And but I'll tell you what, at the end of that game, when that buzzer went, that was probably the loudest, craziest place I ever been at, and it was just unreal. And I mean, at that night, I probably would not want to be any other place but that night. It was just unreal. It's really hard to explain.
Was there a time when you were on the bench and you looked around and you said, wow?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, every weekend I go up there, I do that.
Oh, wow.
That place is sold out almost every weekend, and every weekend I come up, I'm it's amazing. Like I said, how much support that this team gets with the fans. It's every single night. I'm impressed of how the fans come out and show out for the team.
So we've talked about this before on the show about your tattoos. And now you've actually done something that you haven't done professionally in your career. Are you going to find a place up here in Binghamton, come up at some point, and get a tattoo of the cup somewhere on you?
Yeah, so me, Kirks, Ando, and Tom are, we're a pretty close group, and we still have a group chat and bust each other's balls here and there, and but we've been at it since probably 2 days after the cup. We've been at it trying to figure out what we want to get and keep talking about it, and I think everybody's waiting for somebody to make the first move to get it because we were all going to do something together, and. And, I think I'm going to have to step up and be that first guy to get something done and get the group rolling.
Well, you've already got, so much on you that you're not 100% covered head to toe, but you have a lot of art on you. And I would imagine that for you, one of the most memorable, because you said that when you go into a place, if there's something that memorably happens while you're playing in that city, you do try to commemorate it somewhere on your body and everything. And I have to imagine that somehow the cup or something Binghamton Black Bears related, or maybe it's the Power Play Post Show logo. I don't know, but it could be anything. But I got to imagine you have been thinking about it.
I would have to get some kickback for the Power Play Post Show, though.
I don't even get kickback. What are you talking about?
No, it's definitely going to happen, and eventually I'm going to get something definitely for the memory. It's a very, very important day for me, and I'll never lose that memory at all, and I think I'm going to show it in some kind of artistic way, and eventually it'll happen. I just don't know when, but it will happen. I guess it would make sense for me to get it in Binghamton. I think that would probably be the ideal move. I'm sure we
got a couple good tattoo artists up here. There's tattooed people up here in Binghamton, so there must be a couple good ones floating around.
Hopefully they listen to your show and they're here and I get a deal somehow.
We'll have to ask. Well, if you're a tattoo artist listening to the show, please send me a message and I'll get you in contact with Don Olivieri. Don, obviously this summer you worked hard. I know that you got a full-time job and you're taking care of a family. What kind of things did you do for fun? I know you were at Brant's wedding and everything. That's obviously very cool. But what other types of things did you do this summer to kind of relax and spend time with the family?
Big into softball.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you do love your softball.
Yeah, playing a tournament team. You can ask Dylan about it. He kind of does the same thing I do, and pretty much almost every Saturday we go out to tournaments and play, and I play in some night leagues and stuff like that. I try and work out as much as I can, with the baby and her working and my work. So I try and find time to still work out and do that stuff. But it's mostly just softball and that's it. And whenever me and my wife are home together, when she's not working, I'm not working, we hang out with the baby, and she's walking now and she's being all goofy and stuff. So we try and get her outside, maybe take a walk or do some of that stuff. So nothing too exciting for me, but I try my best at 33 to have fun, try and have fun. I guess softball's my fun.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. So if for you, if this is it, are you content with your career?
Yeah, definitely winning a championship was the icing on the cake. But how many people have said that they're done playing and they come out of retirement? Look at Kyle. He came back. Me, I took 8-9 months off, came back. And it's hard to walk away from a game that you play and love for so long. And I don't know.
Well, since you were 6 years old, probably.
Yeah. So if this was it, I mean, I would be fully okay. You know, I accomplished pretty much everything that I needed to accomplish, and but
if we
I still have a little fight in me. There's still some in me, and if I happen to play, I mean, I'll just do the same thing I did last year, give it my all, have fun, and help the team as best as I can. But we'll see what happens, I guess.
I think one of the things you did tell me, and maybe this is accurate or not, obviously Brant's back, and he's building a team and everything. He's got a lot of returning players. I know one of the things that you said to me was, well, if I'm coming back to Binghamton. So I got to imagine that's the case. Would there be a scenario in any other situation that you would go somewhere else?
No, because I mean, the things that me and Brant and Andreas have worked out with me being a weekend guy and stuff, like, I mean, that's just incredible that they allow that, first off, and then, not a lot of teams can make that happen. But I couldn't see myself playing anywhere else. I mean, it's hard to leave a group of guys like that. It's hard, to leave Sherwood and Andreas after everything they did for me. And,
sure.
I wouldn't even care if Dan Barry came out and said, I'll give you $4,000 a year or a week or whatever. I probably wouldn't do it because it just wouldn't be the same, playing with Black Bears and all those guys. It just wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't have the same feeling driving up. I wouldn't have the same feeling in the locker room. It just wouldn't be right.
Oh, come on. You and Johnny Ruiz on the same line against Tyson and Austin Thompson? That would be hilarious. That would be great. And Gavin Yates?
I'll tell you what.
You'd be chirping Gavin so much.
I'll tell you what. That'd probably be the slowest four guys you ever see going against each other, though.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Hey, Johnny's a good player. He'd be a good line mate for you. You guys, Johnny's had a lot of great battles against the Black Bears, and he's probably the one guy on the hat tricks that everybody's like they don't hate, right? Just because he's that kind of guy. So on opening day, October 12th. You're going to come there. Obviously, if we put you in a seat right next to the penalty box, will you chirp the Watertown Wolves for us? Will you be? Would you do that for us?
No. I would. Hopefully, I'd be in Andreas's box.
Yeah.
A few pints going down. So.
But I think it'd be better. I think the fans would love to see you down there chirping the Watertown guys in the penalty box. That would be awesome. We could make you an honorary timekeeper, and you could be down there.
Hey, I'll do that, and I'll just stick to eat my Twizzlers.
That would be great, and the fans would love that as well if you were down there with Twizzlers. And you better watch out because you might get handed a bunch of Twizzlers if people see you. So you might be going home with Twizzlers.
Hey. That's all right. I got a 2.5 hour ride. That's perfectly fine with me.
That's great. Don, let's talk a little bit about Johnny Hockey and what he meant and what his brother meant to the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Southern Jersey area. I'm not sure if you've met him or if you've had any interaction with with them. But, can you talk about what that impact was when everybody found out? Because I know Calgary and obviously Columbus and Philadelphia were all in the news when we found out about what happened tragically to Johnny and Matthew. Can you talk a little bit about that, being somebody who, obviously near their ages, basically, and what was going through your head?
Yeah. So I grew up. We played in the same organization for a couple years when we were younger. I think about Pee-wees to Bantams. He was on the 92 team. I was on the 91 team, but the teams were close. We would practice together, all that stuff. And
right.
His dad, ran a couple practices, and the organization was close, so everybody was kind of close. And as we grew older, he did his own thing. He would play on opposite teams, and I would play, but we'd still play each other. And we weren't close friends or nothing, but you walk by, hi, how you doing? How's your family? Stuff like that. We were some of his friends I see here and there still, and I say hi to them, and it's just like you said, it's a small hockey world. So I see them around, and I'll say hi to them and stuff. And so it was. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a super close friend to me, but it was I just knew the guy from growing up, and my dad used to talk to his dad when they see each other and stuff. So, but when I heard the news, it was it was tough because I did know he was in town, and it just breaks your heart that that's the way that two lovable kids go out over a stupid mistake by a guy that just he just thought he made the right decision when it wasn't. And Johnny, I didn't really know Matty too much. I played against him a couple of times in the coast. I didn't really know him too much, but I know they did a lot for the community in Jersey at the Hollydale rink. The Checking for Charity tournament, they were always doing everything for the kids. They were always playing, trying to make the fans happy, signing autographs, talking to everybody. Never shut anybody down. Never said no to anybody. He was just a great guy. And from what I hear, he was a great father and a great husband too. And it's a shame. It's a dagger to the heart for the hockey community that that something like that happened.
I totally agree. And when we look at USA Hockey, his impact, especially Johnny Hockey's impact on the USA hockey world, I don't know if we can quantify how important it was, because he isn't a 6'3" giant who can skate really fast. Instead, he was a smaller guy, and it gave kids hope that, hey, listen, I may not be as tall as him or as big as him, or like some of the greats, but I can do what Johnny Hockey does. And that's important, and we kind of lost that. And so his legacy is going to be that people his size can play hockey at a very high level.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, watching him when I played against him, and watching him in Dubuque and stuff, and like you said, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but
he could move.
He could move. He had no fear of getting hit. Honestly, you couldn't even hit him because that's how skilled he was. And he loved the game, and like I said, it's just such a shame that two kids like that just had to happen. It's insane. There's no words at all. It's just insane.
It is, and it's what's really interesting about this, Don, is that when he was younger, we were seeing video of him coming out, going, "Look at this kid and what this kid could do against the same age but bigger, taller, faster kids," and he was just skating around them like you wouldn't believe it. And we were seeing video of that like when he was a kid, and not a lot of U.S.-born players get that kind of attention like he did. And it's an unfortunate thing all around for everybody. How excited are you for the banner raising?
I'm pretty excited. I'd be my first one, obviously, and I don't know what to expect. I feel like the front office and Andreas and Sherwood and everybody, they're probably gonna do something crazy. I feel like I feel like there's gonna be something that's gonna be a surprise, and I can't wait to be a part of it. Like I said, whether I'm on the ice, whether I'm in the stands, it don't matter where I'm at. I'm excited to be a part of it, be a part of the Black Bear family, and I just can't wait to see it.
Don, well, whatever you decide to do, I have always appreciated having you on. I hope to talk to you some more. Maybe I can get you to come on and we can talk about, some NHL a little bit, maybe Rangers and Flyers and, all that kind of stuff, just for fun. I hope the Rangers will have another good year. I know you're probably wishing not and everything, but I know Tortorella and the Flyers and just that whole Can you explain to people what the Philadelphia sports complex is like? I don't think there's another city in America where you have so many fun things to do around the three sports places. It's just amazing down there. And I don't like anything about Philly sports, and that place is amazing. Would you not agree?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you have the baseball, football,
hockey, basketball,
hockey right there,
yeah.
and the basketball shares it with them. But fortunately, I think the basketball are getting their own stadium somewhere else, which is, in my opinion, is a kind of shame because why wouldn't you keep it in that same complex?
Right, exactly. It should be together there because that place is awesome to be down there when there are professional games going on.
Yeah, exactly. And once after the tailgates and all the games are over, you head over to Xfinity where my wife works, and you have PBR where you can ride the bull. You have Broad Street where it's like a little Flyers bar kind of. You drink there. I think there's like 5 or 6 bars in that place. So it's nuts down there. It's a good time, and I don't know how much New York Rangers fans are invited back to that place, but it's a good time for Philadelphia people. So
well, I've been there for Dallas Cowboy and Philadelphia Eagle games, and I don't wear any of my Cowboy stuff. I just literally show up to the games, and you know what? The Philly fans have been awesome to me. I mean, and I just go walking around that whole complex and all the bars and everything. It's a great place to be. Listen, the way I look at it, and I learned this in hockey, Don, a long time ago as a fan. If I go to a visiting rink, I just don't show up and go crazy. I don't wear all my garb and everything. I just go there and be professional, be a fan, and usually people will leave you alone, and then you can enjoy everything so much more.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely don't wear Dallas gear. That's definitely a no-go.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, though. I mean, there are some crazy Philadelphia fans, and which I don't support. But but other than that, it is a good time down there, and I'm not really focused on the Flyers right now since the Red October, the Phillies and playoffs are up.
Sure.
So that's another exciting month coming up, so I can't wait for that. And,
how about Yankees and Phillies in the World Series? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be a great thing for baseball?
That would just be another New York rivalry right there.
Yeah, but it would be good though. It's good for it. I mean, nobody wants to see Mets and Phillies in the National League Championship game, but it might happen, right? I mean, but we don't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think the Phillies and Yankees. I think, honestly, it's just hard not to, you see any other team go to the finals and it's whatever, but you see the Yankees go, and it's just something different when you see the Yankees go because, I feel like they're just one of the teams that everybody wants to beat, and I think if the Yankees make it all the way, and it don't matter if the Phillies make it, then whoever, whatever. I think it would be a fantastic World Series just because the Yankees are in there, and I'm almost certain everybody's going to be rooting against the Yankees.
Well, yeah, except for me. But that's okay. I've been a Yankees fan since probably 1979, a Rangers fan since 77, and a Cowboys fan since 75, and I don't deny any of it. Anybody asks, I'll tell them. Binghamton Hockey is number 1 in my books, but then it's those other 3 teams. And I used to be a Lakers fan back in the 80s, and then basketball just kind of went away for me, so...
Yeah, I'm not a big basketball guy either. So
yeah, but I was never tall enough and good enough to play basketball, so I probably lost interest in it. Don, thank you so much for coming on. We totally appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and can't wait to see you in a few weeks or a couple weeks here at the arena when they raise the banner. I'm so glad you're coming.
Yeah, for sure. And like I tell you all the time, whenever you want to have me on, I'm always glad to come on and chit chat with you and all that. So. Like I said before, I want to thank all the Black Bear fans again.
Yeah.
It's one big family, and what you guys did for my family was just incredible, and we appreciate it every single day. And, like I said, whether I'm playing or not playing, it don't matter. I'll be there for the banner race, so I'm excited to see everybody, catch up, say hi to everybody, and hopefully run it back kind of year.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. He is Don Olivieri, and we'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
If you're a Binghamton Hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net. You're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. Thank you very much for listening. As always, I totally appreciate it. Now, let's not forget one thing. If you're listening to this right now and you want a Power Play Post Show sticker for either your phone or for, hey, listen, I know someone's going to put it on their toolbox. I think that's very awesome. Darren McPherson, he's going to put it on his toolbox. I got a few of them for him. He's actually going to give me some pretty cool old pictures to put on binghamtonhockey.net. But if you do want a Power Play Post Show sticker, please come to the press box, see me at any one of the games, and I'll have this really cool sticker for you. And you can, you can put it on your phone, you can put it on your tablet, you can put it on your computer, lunch pail, toolbox, whatever. I'm going to give one to Brant. I don't know if he'll put it on anything, but I am going to give one to the coach Sherwood and everything. He can put it in his office somewhere. I'm sure he'll find a spot. So either way, thank you very much for listening. Come and get a sticker this season here with the Power Play Post Show, and if we do some merch, we'll get that out as well. All right, the Power Play Post Show is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on whichever platform you listen to your podcast, and please subscribe. Please join the Power Play Post Show Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search for Power Play Post Show, and check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your Binghamton hockey information and curiosity. Don't forget, single game tickets are available for the Black Bears. Please go get your tickets. And you can also call the office and get season tickets if you still want season tickets as well. And this is the best way to get the same seat no matter what the game is up into the playoffs. And then you can get those seats as well with a playoff package. Thank you to Rob Lepolis, our MC, John Petitucci, our musical director, and as well, the Don Father of Binghamton, Donald Olivieri. Folks, we're so close to the start of the regular season for the FPHL and, of course, the Binghamton Black Bears. I am excited. I hope you're as excited as I am for the start of the season. We get the home opener, which will have a banner ceremony. We'll get to meet all the new players this season, more than likely right here on the Power Play Post Show. So, again, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week while we'll be at Binghamton Black Bears training camp. I am so excited. I hope you are. We'll talk to you next time right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Petitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.